Ever drive over a bridge that looks completely ordinary, but underneath, it's held up 2 centuries of history? Welcome to Brown Bridge Road, just outside of Colton, New York, a quiet stretch of pavement that once carried soldiers marching to war, loggers hauling timber, and engineers building hydroelectric dams that powered the entire North Country. This isn't just a back road, it's a living time capsule carved through the Adirondack foothills, and it all started before Colton even existed. Welcome back, everybody, to another Street Sign Storytime, another street, another sign, another story. Without further ado, let's jump into this, because we have a long ways to travel back. Because before there was a Colton, before the river was dammed, this was frontier dense pine forest, wolves, black flies, and the muddy Racket River cutting through wilderness that stretched from the Adirondacks to the St. Lawrence. In 1809, the state of New York authorized construction of the Russell Turnpike, a military supply route meant to link Plattsburgh on Lake Champlain to Sackett's Harbor on Lake Ontario. It wasn't paved, it wasn't even smooth, more cut trail through endless trees, but it was strategic. When the War of 1812 broke out, that road helped move troops and supplies between forts protecting the border from British invasion. The modern County Route 24, the same one that crosses Brown Bridge today, follows the bones of that old Russell Turnpike, the very dirt soldiers trudged across 2 centuries ago. It's easy to forget that while we're, cruising with coffee in one hand, this was once the edge of a young America, held together by courage, mud, and, the will to survive another North Country winter. Let's fast forward a few decades. The war, it's long over, and the wilderness is no longer a military line. It's a resource frontier. By 1843, Colton had officially broken away from Parishville and became its own town, and its lifeblood was timber. Roads like Brown Bridge Road, still called the Russell Turnpike by old-timers, became logging highways. Winter meant opportunity. Teams of horses hauled giant white pines over frozen ground, their runners screeching in the cold. By spring, the logs stacked along the Racket River, they were sent, crashing downstream, guided by crews of log drivers riding them like daredevils. Men who were strong, men who were wild, men who were proud. These loggers shaped the identity of Colton. Nearby landmarks like Sunday Rock, still standing tall on Route 56, once marked the end of civilization and the start of the deep woods. They used to say that once you passed Sunday Rock, every day was a Monday. Brown Bridge Road sat right on that invisible line, a connection between town and wild, between homesteads and that hard labor that, kept them alive. And as for the forest, they started to thin, and the timber era started to fade. A new kind of industry arrived, electricity. The Racket River was no longer just a lumber highway, it became a power source. By the early 1900s, a small hydro plant was built right beside the bridge. You can still see the penstock, that giant pipe running water from the dam, just downstream of where you drive today. Old photos from 1919 and 1954 show the same crossing, steel trusses, machinery, and workers who traded axes for turbines. The roar of the river didn't stop, it just changed tone a little bit, from log jams to generators humming day and night, sending current downriver to light homes and factories in St. Lawrence County. It's no exaggeration to say that places like Brown Bridge literally powered the North Country. Each dam and crossing was part of a chain progress, the kind of progress that still defines upstate grit. And by the 1970s, the old wood and steel span gave way to a modern bridge, the one locals crossed for nearly 50 years, until it was replaced again in 2021. If you visit today, you'll find it peaceful. Maybe a fisherman on the bank, maybe a few teenagers daring each other to jump from the bridge into the Racket's cool summer current. What they probably don't know is that they're floating in the same waters that once carried logs, and before that reflected the torches of soldiers marching toward Sackett's Harbor. It's one of those rare North Country roads that, not just a way to get somewhere, it is the story of how we got here. So the next time you pass that humble green sign, Brown Bridge Road, remember this. The quiet asphalt is layered with centuries. Beneath your tires lie the ruts of ox-drawn sleds, boot prints from soldiers, and the foundation stones of a bridge that's outlasted entire industries. It's a reminder that history doesn't just live in museums or textbooks. Sometimes it's under your feet, humming with the current of the Racket River, waiting for someone to notice. That's all we got. Get out there and drive this beautiful North Country. See a road name, a street sign, and send it over, because guess what? That's what we'll be doing, especially with basketball season and a lot of trips. So we'll do this again next week on our new home, the Beard Laws Network. Hopefully you found us. If not, I'm sure you'll find us soon. Take care, everybody.